Hey everybody, Nico Action here to make it clear. Cut Angeria. I'm kidding. Hey everybody, welcome back to X's for Show, your premier favorite show for everything. If I could get through the introduction, I'm Nico Action, NICOACTION.
And I'm TK. You can find me at TK Elemental.
And I'm Jonah. You can find me places at Peak Jonah. That's PEAK.
And that makes me your producer, Kevo. You can find me at Kevo Really. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment so that we know what you want us to cover in the future. But today, we will be covering a very interesting episode of RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars 9.
So, first question, where were the jokes? Second question, oh right, the joke was cutting Angeria again. I'm sorry, I'm just a little on it. Really.
So are they, man. That's not you.
I do want to say, number one, this is a Roxxxy slander-free show. No
Right.
one's coming for my Roxxxy. No one's being mean. The optics are funny.
We will not be slandering or being mean. That doesn't mean
No.
there's not still some stuff to say.
There's still
It's
some
Drag
stuff.
Race. There's still cuntiness. We know what we're covering. So we're all going to be fat dogs about this.
So I want to start this conversation a little bit with the first thing that we need to do. First order of business here is to elevate our show. When Drag Race started, it was Merle and Santino, and they fixed that right up. They brought in Michelle Visage. So let's bring our very own Michelle Visage to the stage, please.
Oh, hello. Hello. Oh,
Both
I
sides
heard
now.
both sides now. You get the real Victor Victoria.
Oh my god, it's Liberace.
A third?
That's what I did 2 weeks ago.
You go down here for that.
No, my name is Tori Sheehan, and I'm here to say Roxxxy Andrews is not as victimized as these people would have you believe.
I just do feel like there is a cultural propensity to cast Roxxxy as a villain because she did some bad stuff. But
Let's say Roxy is not as victimized as Roxy believes. Let's put it that way.
okay. So I wanna get into it. It's time to get into it. The first thing I want to ask about. First thing, how did everybody feel about the jokes?
Jokes in what?
We're driving right into the Maxi Challenge, huh?
I have to ask. How did everybody feel about the comedy?
Oh.
It mostly wasn't good. It's a weird thing. I don't know what kind of prep they get. Clearly, this is not a bunch that watches House Hunters or any...
No, Nina does, clearly.
Yes, true. Sorry, I meant
Yeah.
like the people who were successful clearly have seen a little bit of... I also noticed that like some of the people who got it are older and closer to home ownership, closer to wanting... if you're Georges, you probably have not gotten to the point where you're as concerned about owning a house, maybe an apartment, but not a house. And so there's a lot of like, when you're older, you look at a lot of real estate porn, you watch a lot of house hunting shows, and you kind of start to get the vibe. Clearly these two, being two of the older queens, got it. Roxxxy nailed it. Plastique did not nail understanding real estate jokes. Plastique nailed giving into improv, and that is a big part of it. I honestly thought these guys also, Vanjie and Angie, also really nailed giving into improv. It just so happened they weren't funny most of the time. There were some really funny. I thought that ending where they were clucking around in circles was for some reason just hilarious to me. I thought that was very funny. Sadly, all I'm driving towards is just poor Gottmik and Georges were not even a little bit funny. Like to the point where it's surprising because Gottmik has been so funny in random moments. This was just even maybe an accident of just like, whoops, it didn't work out.
Cosmic
Yeah.
coalescence of weird timing, weird beats, but funny people.
a lot of it I do kind of, I blame Georgia a little bit. I got some thoughts there.
I do want to say, and I'm going to get into it, I want to
Julian?
improv, but like
Thank you.
there's giving into improv, but there's also like they specifically said that Nina and Shannel had the same joke over and over again. Plastique literally said the same thing over and over again. Plastique literally had the same joke 4 times. It felt
Well,
like,
she can only memorize so many lines.
I felt a little bit like because the bar was low, people don't think Plastique is funny, which is unfair because she is very funny. It's like people gave her an unfair penalty and then gave her credit for it. And while I think she deserves credit for being very funny, there was sort of like, I'm shocked you were funny. Did you know you could tell jokes? And I was like, guys, she's an unbelievable talent. What are you talking about? She's so talented.
This for me was I feel like a lot of the choices in this episode are them gearing up for who they're gonna crown. I think that Nina and Shannel's was very weirdly edited. The others, when you got the one shots, there was no, it was cropped a lot closer so that you wouldn't see the other one's hands. There were points where Nina's talking and it's focusing on Shannel. There's points when Shannel is talking and it's focusing on Nina for no reason. It's not matched to each other. No reason. This to me felt like Shannel and Nina maybe did a little too good with the words and the thinking, and then they were like, fuck, like this is not what we want. And then I feel like a lot of the critiques that everybody else got is setting up certain people to become more. For all that we were complaining about Vanjie not getting enough credit previously on the runway, this time she gets a lot of credit. And I just think, I think Gottmik let the Chaos Demons take control this week. Because she was with Georges, and then she went, oh, right. I can't just pull it out at the last second. So.
Jonah, your silence has been
Deafening.
You are Jonah. I almost said you're Jonah Peak Andrews. Gotta go. You are Jonah Andrews, and you're here to make it clear what?
I know I love them, baby. But no, while we were watching this, I maybe not so jokingly said, people want the queens to write more of their own stuff because they don't like the writing on Drag Race. This is what they want. Y'all asked for
This
this.
is what we
Your
get.
fault.
Yup.
It was
Yes,
your
it
fault.
is.
Yeah, right in front of my Pride Month, right in front of my salad. I want to. They actually kind of talked about this a little bit on the pit stop. You're already a drag queen in front of a green screen. It's already going to be extra hokey, and the really only way to kind of make it work is you have to go so over the top that it's just like it's bonkers, and you can't say anything else about it. Like a lot of Drag Race acting challenges are kind of like that. You kind of put them in front of a green screen, and you're like, do great, and these are professional actors, so it doesn't always turn out great. I did not like this challenge. I thought it was a little dumb. I feel bad because also a couple of the places weren't properly weighted in terms of balance of like funny factor. Like
TK had a great take on this. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to cut you. Please keep going. Just yes.
Salem, Massachusetts is a real place.
And it's a good place.
Yeah,
it is insanely expensive to attempt to purchase a home in Salem, and I can tell you because I have attempted to purchase a home in Salem.
Yeah, I mean the Airbnb thing alone is ridiculous in Salem.
It's like
even
there's like a couple extra witchcraft stores compared to any other location, and then like Halloween is
But
an
it's
extra
New England.
Right, exactly. Like because there's a lot all over New England. Halloween
You
is
can
an
get
extra
that
2
in
nights.
Sleepy Hollow. You can get it in
Formerly
Right.
Perrytown for those of you with map makes. You know
the commuter rail into Boston goes to say that's why I was like very interested in homes there because it's like a really nice town and you can get into Boston proper. This was such because the other things they're like just generally the idea of Antarctica, the idea of swamps in Florida,
Right.
And I would have, I mean, I don't know. There were so
And then
many other things
south.
they could have done. Right, exactly.
Southern.
Roxxxy being like, there's actually no swamps in the entirety of Florida. There's no Everglades. There's no Everglades.
Spoken
or
like a
Panhandle.
true Miami, Orlando.
Spoken like a true.
It was such a wild thing that she was arguing with Vanjie over this because, like, my mom almost moved us to the Bible Thump. My mom like considered moving down there, and I literally told her, if you move down there, I'm not visiting you. So you can move wherever you want. I'm not going. I will not, entertain that notion. And it was just very weird that she was arguing with her, and then in a great for TV way was like, I wasn't, Vanjie, I wasn't really talking about you. I was just kind of talking about Florida. And it's like, I wasn't really talking about the challenge, like how you were doing. And it's, you absolutely were talking about how the challenge and how she was doing. It's fine.
I've always wondered, like, why they think that stuff isn't going to get aired.
Or heard.
Or
Yeah.
heard.
Or
Where the hell
heard.
is my chiffon?
But
Get
I
in the
also,
room.
I also kind of know Roxxxy, and Roxxxy knows how to make good TV. But someone else pointed out what's very fascinating about this season is because there's no eliminations, they're around each other a lot more, and they're kind of getting on each other's nerves now. And it makes it more entertaining in that factor. If we're going to remove the stakes and the drama from eliminations, now it's kind of like a little bit like Big Brother Bad Girls Club, where they're all just kind of like a little bit of infighting. Let me tell you, this entire episode was a freaking fever dream between the Teletubbies to this to the lip sync to this was a great shot of George. She looks insane here.
Lasagna. This is
Also-
a frightening image.
Shannel was all of us. Shannel, I don't know what Shannel was doing. She was so like the way that they edited it, and Shannel was just like that was everything to me. The fact that Carson was like, "Oh, the broom is backwards." No, it was way funnier when she was writing it wrong. It was hysterical, and they should have kept it.
You can't write that on purpose sometimes, and you stumble on gold and you throw it out. All right.
Well, but I get kind of why Carson was like, "No, dear, they'll be laughing at you, not with you."
That's
And
fair.
that-
She was not doing a backup bit.
It's different when it's done with intent. I can see that.
And I think he was trying to be like, "No, my dear, you will be a meme. I'm trying to make you in on the joke by telling you you're getting it wrong, rather than letting you be a punchline." Because Carson himself, like, is kind of really good at being the punchline. He's very funny about it, but like, I feel bad, and I just want to. There is very obviously a little bit of heathers and boogers at play here, and I do feel like my precious Nina and my friend Shannel are getting my precious Nina and my friend Shannel and JoJo's precious Shannel are kind of getting boogered a little bit.
I do not think so at all.
Just a little, just like, oh, they're the old girls. Stick them together all the time because they're old.
I do think there is that. I do think there is a significant
old boogering is still boogering.
I don't think anybody sees themselves as Heathers over those two. I think especially like I don't know.
Roxxxy.
Well, Roxy's a whole other
maybe
story, 'cause
not
Roxy's-
over. Maybe not over Shannel.
Roxy's the other old queen. But the fact of the matter is, for especially the first 2 or 3 episodes, everybody was like, I would chop Nina. I'm scared of Nina. Nina is the best. Nina is a threat.
The Trevor
Nina
Project
has
really
proven
appreciates all
that
of your
those things are not true. She's not the best in this competition. She's not super duper a threat. Who knows? Maybe she'll come behind. Maybe the weird math and occasions of the show will change things. But I don't think anybody has been especially harsh with Nina, given that she has not super performed. And I sort of feel like the same is true of Shannel, except nobody knew what to think of Shannel because she hadn't competed in such a long time. And then she has just been sort of like, not remarkable, but not terrible. And it's just led to a situation in which, if you are just kind of looking at a bird's eye view, they are two competitors that aren't super threatening. And I feel like strategy-wise, that's a safe bet.
I hear it. I do think there's still some othering, unintentional or intentional. But
I think you get so sensitive to this stuff.
I think because there's a version of it we think is really funny on television, but the minute it enters your real life, you're worried about your kid. You're worried about your friend. And we think it's so funny. But the truth is there is a little bit of snubbing and nose upturning at people.
A lot of these girls don't know the difference between television and reality when the cameras turn off. I agree. And I think that's part of the problem. How much of it is performance and how much of it is genuine? If it's performance, it's one thing. But like, it's also encouraging of people to perform and behave in these ways that I don't love. It's not my favorite part of the whole genre.
And I know it's just like a TV thing. It's TVism because, like, you know, when we get to Traders real soon, I'm going to have a lot of opinions on Danielle. I'm going to have a lot of opinions on Danielle. And I'm going to refer to a season of television that she was kind of crazy and mean on, but then there were some really significant cultural things that affected the way we talk about it. I do also think that when we're talking about specifically older girls, there is an ageism to it. And yes, splits are gonna sell the tickets and pack the house, but like not every young queen is evolved enough yet to do the sort of charity work and the sort of amazing things that like a Nina and a Shannel do. So I do think there is a need to be sensitive because so many people do literally, not you in this instance, certainly not, but a lot of people like, so who cares? It's a TV show. They know what they're getting into. They do and they don't. You're promised a lot of things, especially when it's an All-Stars. And so
I definitely care. Like, I hate seeing bullying. I think my pushback is like, I don't think that's what's happening here, but I'm not fully disagreeing with you. I could see it definitely being that. I guess watching it, I didn't experience it in the same way. I do think there is a little bit of like the hot young girls are in their own orbits and sort of just see themselves, but like
it's all very Valerie Cherish.
I sort of see that's really failing Georges, and so like feeling yourself as a hot young girl who maybe thinks the older queens are over the hill. I get how that can be an ugly thing to watch and is something to really caution people against. But I also think it can be something that can bite you in the ass when you are really self-confident. And again, maybe not performing. Like if Georges is a little low on my ranking right now because she just keeps sort of underperforming. And I think even though she looks stunning a lot of the time, where I don't think Nina and Shannel always do, Nina and Shannel have some wisdom going for them that is lacking a lot of times for Georges, and it's a real Achilles heel.
I also think that Georges looked like Plain Jane this week. Pass it down.
We also had a very interesting moment on the runway where Georges kind of broke down because she kind of just felt really disappointed in her own performance, and I get that. Like I think all of us here, and especially people at home, have probably felt that you know, you wanted to do well at something and then it doesn't turn out, and especially with people you're trying to impress, it's unfortunate. I felt maybe even a little weird about it because if, you know, I'm Georges and I'm this hot young thing and I know I want to go back to Drag Race and I know that maybe comedy isn't my strong suit. Granted, the girl has been working. I think she's done Work the World. She's been working at Vegas. So like there may be not a lot of time, but if you know you do want to go back eventually, we say this a lot on the main season, but like take an improv class, take a comedy class. Like I can tell that she's trying more and I appreciate that. And I see that. But it is just one of those like, well, what did you do? What did you do as homework? And I know that per Georges' own words, she didn't do well in school, but it's more like, I see you, I feel you, I want your feelings to be heard and recognized. In the same vein, this is a competition. You know what they ask for. You know, you might have an idea of what you feel weak at. You've already done this once already. Why not try to push yourself in, like, ask for help? I don't know. It was just a little bit of a weird moment for me.
For me, as someone who literally just finished all of All-Star 7, I think for me, where we're seeing the issue is that we are now, 5 episodes in? Normally, the girls who are medium have gone away by now, or who haven't grown as much, haven't done their homework, are gone by now. But when we don't have the eliminations like we did for All Star 7, we start to think of this as like, oh, this is the best of the best. Like it must be a higher level. And I think in our heads we're like, oh, Roxxxy, oh, Shannel, oh, Nina, like, oh, Gottmik, Plastique, Angeria. Like you get all of these people around, and then Georges just sort of isn't as fully formed, and so she kind of falls apart a little bit compared to them.
I also think there's this thing where, you know, especially from seasons like 4 through 9, there was a real focus on figure out what you're good at and apply it to every challenge. That's literally something that got said a lot. It was something that you watched girls do, that they would figure out how to take the things that they were, just learn the lesson of like my talent and like understanding of a new subject can come in the same way that I learned how to do makeup really well. And what I find frustrating about Georges is she's really loving this, I'm an idiot, like I'm dumb, I don't try, I didn't do well in school. And she's clearly very smart, because aesthetics like that take intelligence. They take a real, it takes thought. Like she's not irredeemably stupid, but she's not applying stuff, and she is she's continuing to be really chaotic, really unfocused, and not taking those skills that mean that she can put on a gorgeous mug and a gorgeous look, and figuring out how to use some of that focus in a comedy challenge. And it's just really frustrating me, because it keeps coming off as like a really great part of her identity that she's an idiot. And it's starting to get self-defeating. And when she cries, I have this mixed reaction of being like, no, somebody give a little bit of tough love, but also like, I don't want anybody ever to feel stupid. That breaks my heart. So seeing somebody on a stage with a camera in front of them and it's going to go to air feeling that way is very difficult to see. And it just really makes me like frustrated about how Ru as a mentor and a judge has really moved away from a lot of substantive ideas and advice. And it's just kind of, the other thing I said, I don't know if this was in the group chat or just to Nico, but like they've got to stop calling things stupid in like a fun way. Like what you did was so stupid and great. Like I love stupid funny. That's great. They have now abused it so much that it just means nothing. A lot of times it's literally just you guys were funny, and they keep talking about how it's stupid. Not everything is stupid just because it's funny. Some things are just actually funny, and it's actually intelligent humor, for instance. So I really wish that rather than just calling everything stupid, they would kind of expand their horizons on critique a little bit.
Well, and I want to jump in on that because it's something that, Tori, I think you'll probably have a little bit of background on. And I know I probably sound like a conspiracy theorist, and I really don't mean to.
Hit me.
I keep thinking about some stuff you haven't gotten to yet, Tori. But there's a lot of conversation about All Stars 8 feeling, a number of the girls felt like production was particularly favorable to a handful of girls, and particularly heinous to a handful of girls. And I think about when Donny Osmond entered Beauty and the Beast on Broadway, so they rewrote Gaston to have 30% more lines. And then I think about when John Tartaglia took over for Lumiere, and so Lumiere got 40 new lines.
Beyonce got a whole song in Lion King. Not even Bella's song.
Toni Braxton got home in Beauty and the Beast on Broadway. You rewrite musicals that are these things that are finite with a copyright and a book and a script and a Tony. You rewrite these things to celebrities. And I keep hearing these girls say, no, I was given a horrible edit because somebody else was more famous for being funny. And I cannot help but wonder how much they keep propping up people like Georges, because perhaps Georges has the right agent at William Morris. And it is hard not to see that Roxxxy floundered the first week or so. And all of a sudden we were reminded that Roxxxy is Roxxxy, you guys. And not that she doesn't deserve it. I think she should replace Carson as a judge. I really do. But I think she should be a judge. I think there is some, I don't know. I think there is some celebritydom going on here in a way that changes the game. God, she looks wild with this blonde hair.
Very busy Phillips.
I guess I maybe get a little concerned with that because then certain people who've reached a certain status then should never be allowed to compete. Like then that's like saying on season 15 Sasha Colby shouldn't have been allowed to compete, which there might have been an argument for that, but that in the spirit of fairness that just because someone has accolades and merit that they've done the work and now they want this accolade and merit, is that always as fair to maybe, I don't want to say punish, but
if we're letting the pageant queens be there, like the Miss USA gay, like what are we?
Well, Adam
like
Lambert,
you have to allow that level for all of the talents.
Adam Lambert on American Idol had already been Fiyero in Wicked for multiple consecutive performances on Broadway. Adam Lambert was already a Broadway actor when he became a finalist on American Idol. So he literally already was an award-winning superstar, which less than 1% of people who ever want that job will get. And he is one of the most celebrated, no matter what, however you feel, winners of American Idol. I can't help but think somebody like a Sasha Colby or a Brooklyn Heights or any of these people whose names are echelon, my precious. And
my precious.
I said what I said.
I think, go ahead.
But I wonder if even she should have been allowed to compete.
I think this also brings to the front a conversation we have a lot on this show, which is there need to actually be levels of competition across the various programming. All stars can't just be some kind of stars. Like we need an actual all stars where it is all stars who are all top competitors. We need to actually be having like sort of weight classes in terms of your level of experience and skill at this type of performing.
I will come back. I agree with everything. I'm the person over here being like, so when do we get a comedy drag race? When do we get a pageant drag? Like, when do we get these things? But I will say the following. Adam Lambert was known to people who follow the people who go into roles on Broadway. Right. He was not American Idol, middle of nowhere's Nebraska.
He wasn't famous in elementary schools in Chicago.
But I feel like Sasha Colby is kind of a comparable example because there's a huge swath of Drag Race viewership that does not follow what's going on outside of the world of Drag Race. So the fact that well, yeah, I mean, and that is changing, but like, it was very interesting to me the amount of people that didn't know or like had vaguely heard of Miss Continental but didn't know that Sasha Colby was one or that was a big deal.
Right. Like if you come to Drag Race just being like, I'm queer and this is fun and it's like the gay Super Bowl, let me get in on it. Like now today, like if you're not in a scene, in a city with a scene, you either only know that scene or you don't know anything outside of it. Maybe you have a little more Instagram idea of some people, but the older broads ain't doing it like that. There's nothing on Bianca's feed that could ever possibly go viral just from her being like, here I am.
Not dancing.
Yep.
All right, she didn't dance, but she, same dress still won.
She has been getting a lot of love for I don't know where she was, but she was just at a baseball game and threw the star.
She was at the Nationals. They were playing the Mets. There is no video yet, and I need to find it.
There's some great pictures, though. She looks.
There's some great pictures.
Bianca Del Rio's #1 fan to my left.
I just want to say, and it only just occurred to me, but Bianca Del Rio is the New York version, and Kate Butch is the UK version. But the parallels between them are so positive and endearing.
I do not see this at all, I'm telling you, but I love this vision for you. Keep going.
Just sort of like dry, acidic queens who mean really well, are very loving, don't dance, do one look a lot.
Listen, okay, I went in to the wiki. She had that Dior ball gown look. She had that leopard look. She had that Vanjie where you saw all the legs to her little panties. That was lovely with the coat. She what she did was she broke it up. She would do 2 in a row and then she'd switch, and then she'd do 2 in a row and get the switch. So that's why they never put it in the show that the judges were saying these things. But that's my own personal belief. I don't.
And
have
one
enough
day she is
resources.
going to meet you and be like, "Thank you, my staunch defender, for seeing what I was doing."
Listen,
If I could talk beyond, so pretty.
if Bianca has 1 million fans, Tori is one of them. If
Yeah.
Bianca only has 100, she's still fighting for her. If Bianca has 1 fan, it's Tori. And if Bianca has 0 fans, Tori's not with
Tori's
us
dead.
anymore.
I am God.
Monet Exchange is so proud of you for that one and that delivery.
It was
Meanwhile,
beautiful. Good job.
Kate Butch's new thing is she just like apparently knows how to rap every single song out there and just gets on any social media app and will just recite it.
Good for her.
Yeah,
But
it's
does
a-
she?
It is a very
Did she
funny
know this
party
one?
trick.
Because they didn't.
Yeah, clearly.
So
I
can-
bet she
isn't that-
does. I bet she could absolutely nail this, and
Can we-
probably
can we-
is on TikTok right now doing it.
Can we talk about this lip sync? Because this lip sync.
Wait.
No.
Okay. Lip sync
No,
then runway, please.
to quote the icon Kennedy Davenport.
Okay.
No, sorry. Next. This between Roxxxy trying to throw this lip sync, between turning her back to the judges, which Roxxxy would never do that. Plastique not knowing the words and flipping that gorgeous unit, which it was gorgeous, and the tinsel and everything. The fact that this was the explicit version of this song, we have 2 queens who were not black with a song that has the N-word in it, but then they all, as TK alerted us to, Megami talked about that this was on their iPod, but it was the clean version, so, and it's a Nicki verse, so half the words were eliminated, so it's really hard to lip sync.
Liberty Science
Ooh.
Center After Dark's Megami?
Listen, I just sent you that ad.
I don't get that reference.
No, seriously, she's going to be doing a special event at Liberty Science Center After Dark. Megami is going to be
Oh, wow.
literally working with the New
Yeah,
York Science Center. It's
I
amazing.
sent this to Nico.
I'm
When?
so thrilled.
We should go. June 27th. The Liberty Science Center is one of those places you go as a kid every year for your field trip.
A tunnel!
And it does have a few things going for it. It has one of the largest observatories on the East Coast. It has a really great IMAX. It's got a beautiful view of the New York skyline and Statue of Liberty. And on Thursday nights, it's time for the adults to drink and party under a whale skeleton. And it's great.
And
do
Megami's going to
themes.
be there. It's going to be so
Love to
cool.
see it.
Yeah.
That looks very fun.
It's so fun. I love partying in museums.
I do too. I was gonna say,
Dragosaurus!
I went to one of these at the Royal
Dragosaurus.
Museum of Ontario, and it was really fun. Or the Royal Ontario Museum. Oh God, what were we talking? Oh yeah, it's just a terrible song choice all around. I would be really curious to know if they had any doubts about doing this song. Or if, especially because like
This is also a
the
year
big thing
ago.
that Megami mentioned was the fact that theirs was edited. So I'm very curious about this one, but it really bothered me how little Plastique was mouthing the words. And again, just like I am such an avenger for the fact that I don't think Mirage did that bad with Dark Lady. I really do think between the fact that she did clearly know a chunk of it and the fact that her performance was so good, I just thought it was so unfair to of them to have that cut to Michelle going not one word. If they're
Which was
not going to
false.
do, which was false. If they're not going to do something like that here, it again just gets me that whole thing of just like the judging is making me really frustrated and angry. And then, and this is where we get into like the real crux of the structural issues with this show. Why does this
Moment.
have to be such a thing? Why do we have to go in this direction with it? I can't tell if I should be permissive of this because if we don't let this sort of stupid drama happen, there's literally nothing for them to fight about. Or if it really is valid to be like Roxxxy overreacted and was too weird about it. This isn't a big deal. You should be honored to get cut. You're staying there. You're not making any money anyway. What is this?
This is crocodile tears from a manipulative liar who just
No.
wants
This was straight up Peach Pit After Dark bullshit.
Yes, no, I get where like having to be the person to cut someone can feel dramatic because a lot of people react very dramatically to being cut. And if people didn't react so dramatically to being the one cut, I don't think it would be so emotional.
This
But
is the chicken and egg
moreover-
problem right here.
Yes.
I'm
And part of the
serious. Like,
problem- yeah,
Go.
and I think part of the problem with this as well, and feeding into that too, is like the more upset you make yourself, the worse it's going to be. First of all, the song and dance of this whole thing of her going down the line and where's Nina and it's not Nina, and no. Do the math or something. Think like actually, and what she ultimately said, Gottmik has a bunch of badges, so I went with Gottmik. Yes, then do it like that and don't make such a meal out of it. You're right. You shouldn't cut Angeria again, and you made the smart move by not settling with this, and I am so glad Ru did not pull any kind of, no, you said it. That would have been
no final
real
answer,
upsetting. Yes. And Gottmik will get you back.
what movie poster is this from?
I Stanley Kubrick's new movie, because this stare.
This is the birds.
Yeah,
Gottmik
no,
in American Psycho.
this is Gottmik. This is amazing.
She learned this from Denali, her season 13 sister. There's an episode where Denali was really fucking pissed, and she has the Kubrick stare, and it's amazing. I hear what you guys are saying. I am messy. I thought it was hysterical. The way I view it is with a lot of the theory that, because even when Roxxxy was told she won, she kind of looked upset and almost a little bit pissed about it that she won. And the way that she was lip syncing it did come across that she didn't want to have to chop someone. You want the benefit of the challenge win, the beautiful benefactress badge, but you don't want the responsibility of having to chop someone, especially because it isn't an elimination. You're still with them. You have to see them next week. You have to see them in 10 minutes when you go to the workroom to film the after the episode portion of the shoot for the day. It did seem like she was really upset about having to be doing the snipping. And do I know if I fully believe she did or didn't know where Angeria was? I don't know. There's too much going on. She did, I will say, when they did start lighting up, she did immediately go like this and was hiding everything.
She was, technically.
More to the point being, I think maybe this kind of responsibility might have gotten to her. And she also alluded to in a tweet about saying there was something going on either backstage or something else that was like contributed to how she was feeling. I think she was just very emotional about this responsibility, and like Kevo said, just kind of happened to overwhelmed herself by being so upset, and just kept getting a little bit more upset over it to the point that Mick has to laugh because it's so absurd that she has to comfort Roxxxy.
And it's not new for her. It's not the first time we've seen her get so upset.
It's not the first time a trans person had to say, fine, I'll put this cis gay person ahead of my needs and take care of them because that's what I do.
Oh, well, that's the truth.
I mean, at least Gottmik looked amazing, because I was not really a fan of a lot of the runways, and she had the best runway of the night, point blank, period, hands down. Mama Boots.
She had the best runway, but Plastiques did make me scream, what the fuck, when she revealed.
Yeah. Can we, TK, your point about Plastiques is so important.
Oh yeah, that is the thing. I really cannot for the life of me believe that they let the line that Michelle said stay in from geisha to samurai.
It was bad.
This is a Vietnamese person. This isn't samurai. This is, as Nico said, this is Witchblade.
Chromatica.
This is Witchblade. This is
Chromatica.
Yancy Butler post rehab coming back to TNT this fall with a whole new season of Witchblade.
Yep.
Yeah,
this is very
Witchblade.
Mark
I get
Silvestri
that.
coded. It was I just don't know how that line was thought of by Michelle. I really hope not. I love Michelle so much. I want to believe it was fed to her. I don't know why she said it, and I don't know why it was left in. I just it's crazy racist.
Could you imagine her live on the runway, though, just going, oh, I'm not going to say this one.
Yes, that would be my preference. I would like to hear a story where she's like, no, and then like was served a formal injunction to have to say it. There's no other excuse for why this happened. I think was my favorite. I don't know what to do with how in love with Plastique I am. It's just absolutely absurd.
I want can I riff on that though for a second?
Go.
I loved this for any other challenge. Guys, what was the reveal? I'm really lost in this word
That's fair.
reveal.
That's fair.
And Jonah was like, Bear, it's literally just taking something off and something else being there.
Yeah.
But like, that's really cute if this is season 3, but this is All Stars season 9. And I am used to people having the wings fly off of their back and come back down as the Green Goblin's glider and transforming into the Drag Goblin.
She did the same thing Roxxxy did. She took off a coat.
And I didn't think it was great on Roxxxy either.
Then you need to say that.
I thought no, I don't think that about Roxxxy.
I love that Gottmik sequined the entire inside of that suit.
Yes.
It's stunning.
Gottmik was my winner.
She's gonna win. She's gonna win.
Gottmik.
I was a little.
I think so too.
I was a little disappointed that Roxxxy, either it wasn't mentioned or Roxxxy didn't notice her own reference. I thought she was doing Ava. I thought she was doing her.
The Ava Perón.
Yeah, I thought she was doing her.
Again.
That hair is very similar, as TK is pointing out.
Probably.
It's very similar to the Ava Perón hair she wore for All Stars 2, Baddest Bitches in History.
And I really thought she was doing something, and either that got cut, which sucks for Roxxxy because it for me, as soon as I saw it, I was like, this is a brilliant concept. She's been doing so good referencing the stuff that was really great for her career, even though Tasha Salad a little too much.
And finally a Latina playing Evita.
There you go. There you go. Teed that one up for you.
TK,
but yeah, then either Roxxxy did not recognize this or it got cut, and that's really disappointing either way. Gottmik, I just is next level brilliant. I do think she's probably the one I am rooting for the most and sort of see the most taking it. I gotta agree with Jonah there. I do, I see them really rooting for Roxxxy, and I'm not rooting for Roxxxy. I don't know, man. The crying made this from the woman who, when they said, back in the day when somebody said, what was your favorite part of the show? She said, watching you in the bottom. The fact that she is now can't even just be like, she can't even during these cuts, which are completely toothless. She can't just say like, I'm cutting you. It's fine. We're all having fun.
It's for charity.
Knuckle up about it. The fact that she is crying when she's doing this thing that is so okay and so not a big deal. When again she was that girl in season 5, I don't like it. I don't like seeing
season
that.
5.
It's gonna make it right. This is her making it right. No, the fuck, thank you.
Give her a sewing challenge. She'll give you what you like.
That part is still true. That remains true.
If the Exxon company decided to make up for the Exxon Valdez incident by producing the sequel to Fern Gully, I would also roll my eyes. And this is sort of on par with that.
Something
I love you for that metaphor, and I hate you at the same time.
You mean the second sequel?
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
I just realized, as TK was talking about rooting for people, I was rooting for you. Roxxxy has all but cemented her place in the finale. There are only 2 challenges left. Because episode 8 is the finale. Roxxxy has 3 badges now.
And we know that for sure?
Yes, we know that there's going to be 8 episodes.
Yeah.
Okay, because
frustrating.
Yeah, because there was a point where like Nina in episode 3 was like, we have 9 more weeks. And I was like, we do?
I don't know where she got that number from, but from all the reporting they've talked about is that there's going to be 8 episodes. It's an 8-episode season. If it is longer, and I happen to be wrong about that,
isn't there usually a little bit of time extra for the finale? So maybe they build them in a little bit more time, like in the schedule, and we just don't see it. So I think it's all possible.
But yeah, as of right now,
there are 12 episodes.
There are 12.
Right.
Okay.
That is so exciting.
Miracle!
The original Paramount press announcement to Variety in the original Variety article about this season says 8 episodes.
Yeah, I knew you weren't pulling 8 out of nowhere. So
we got a roast next week. We have something called Meeting in the Ladies' Room the week after that. No clue what that could mean. Make your own kind of Rusic. Rosemary's Baby Shower, the Rusical. Lip Sync Lollapalooza, which we all know what's going to happen there, and then 2 grand finale talent show part 1 and part 2.
I just need to say that if there is any moment, wow, grand finale talent show, what a gift. I just want to say, Make Your Own Kind of Music is a very significant piece of music to queer cinema and queer history. It is a focal point in my all-time favorite queer film and queer stage play, Beautiful Thing. It is a really major part of my being a proud out gay man.
That part of Lost. Oh no, that's Downtown. Never mind. Go ahead.
But still, that same vibe of music, that energy, those women, they really. Hearing that there's 12 episodes this season, when the original Variety press announcement that we referenced only had 8 listed. What a gift, man! Thank you so much for filling in that blank.
It was Make Your Own Kind of Music on Lost. Anyway, sorry.
Meeting in the Ladies' Room is that climax song that they did that SNL sketch about.
Is that a joke or is that what's happening?
It's a real song that they parodied in a sketch on SNL like 5 to who knows, maybe 10 years ago. There's no timing on that show. But yeah, so it's probably a reference to Climax. I hope it's a reference to Climax with 2 X's.
Really think that one of the things that I'm really excited about with this season, that I guess we kind of got away from talking about it this episode in a good way. Like this is maybe my favorite episode that we've had in a really long time, because I feel like everybody was their own queen tonight. Everybody kind of was their own bitch in like a cool way, in like a really positive way.
Are you talking about us or are you talking about them?
Us.
Okay. Yes.
I mean, I feel gorgeous right now. So
as you should.
Woman, it's very distracted.
You are perfection. Something I've been really thinking about a lot lately is my own creative identity and my own drag king identity, but my own musician identity outside of that, and my own writer identity, and the fact that we do sort of have this cavalcade of colors that we do kind of need to work in. And we always talk about masks, etc. But like, one of the things that Drag Race offers these women, these performers, these men, is a chance to show all of those faces, all of those masks. And the problem becomes when Ru's lens doesn't fit the mask right. And we focus so much on being positive on these women because they deserve it, that sometimes I think we shortchange our own ideas. But this was a moment for Drag Race where I feel like enough things came together. It's very Dan Brown. Oh, look, we can make the Da Vinci Code happen. Because so many things, just the exact right point of light, the exact right angle. And like, yeah, I think this is maybe an episode where we can see some cracks in the All-Stars formula a little more than usual. And it reminds us what we love about this show. I love the Teletubbies bit. I love that for that first 10 minutes, you could cut this episode for a kids group. You could make this the proof of concept for a drag storytime hour segment to introduce the idea to middle schools that would then allow the program to happen. This was cut so well. Even the sexy dancing was innocent sexy dancing. It was sexy dancing, not sexual dancing. This episode showed
how their parents would dance at a barbecue.
Well, yes.
Yeah. Actually, I have questions about Teletubbies. Jonah, you're young. Do you remember one of them holding a purse? And the nonsense that came out of it?
No, so that happened a little bit before I was conscious, and I found out about that later.
Yeah.
I love the Teletubbies.
These youthful queens, I think, like, because I also watched like the pit stop and things, and I was like, oh, they don't know that they used to have a purse and they were almost canceled 5 times by Catholic.
For pushing the gay agenda, because
and that's
Tinky
why
Tinky Winky got his purse back.
Which is
he has it.
Genderless, a genderless being.
Right.
There is no gender there. Had a purse, and because they assumed Tinky Winky was a man, well, now it's the gay agenda.
Yeah.
But no, they're
Tinky Winky is purple. Tinky Winky has an upside down triangle. Winky, a lot of it, they used so much of it. And I was a 12-year-old hearing people attack this children's show. And it made a huge impression on me as a middle schooler seeing that reaction. So it was really weird, but very cool to see this connection. The only thing I would love more is Muppets. Bring Miss Piggy back. Do more with the Muppets. Love that. You're muted, bud.
Yeah, and like I don't know if you guys saw, I went, oh, no one can hear my brilliance. I want to ask you guys a question about this season of All Stars, especially because TK, you've shifted the paradigm, dude. You are the e-reader, changing books forever. With this additional number of episodes coming our way.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I read the tea leaves.
Oh yeah,
we got to give credit to Tori. She knew. She knew instinctually. She didn't have the TV guide in front of her.
I was like, Nina doesn't lie.
Guys, if we literally sit here and give Tori all of the credit that Tori deserves, we would just
we'll be here all night.
Yeah, it would just be Tori is for Tori, the show. But I think one of the things that I am eager to see with these girls going forward is who they get to become. TK, you made a comment that I Jonah, this is not about you, honey. You're beautiful, okay? But when people are like, I'm a himbo, I'm like, canceled. Because one of the things that happens is when you're like, I'm stupid, but it's endearing, I kind of roll my eyes because masking behind the term stupid or masking behind, I just didn't know, is an innocent way of saying I don't want to try harder because I'm dumb, but I'm learning is very different than you can't blame me. I'm a himbo, which is Jonah. Why I'm not saying this is about you. You're not that person. I just didn't want you to be like, oh,
no,
right?
I'm that person.
Well,
I'm that
you're
person.
also a genius.
I do it regularly because I have been in many male-dominated spaces where it's just easier to say, I'm just a little girl who can't pick up a couch. You got it.
And
easier for you, easier for them, just easier. Exactly.
Yes.
But this is a room full of essentially the same sort of disadvantage in many ways, although each one of these girls is such a unique journey and a unique story. And I would never say that any of them share the same pain. But something that I'm really looking forward to seeing is Gottmik prove that Gottmik's not just a couple of good ideas. I think Gottmik has never gotten to be a real person on TV because, he had to carry the banner for so many she's on the show that would come. How many trans men are going to be so confident and so ready to be on the show? Because look at how Gottmik shines. And that's my biggest thing. Whether Gottmik gets the crown or not, I'm really looking forward to Gottmik getting to be Gottmik and not just having to carry the sign for everyone. Because with 12 episodes, the freedom for this incredible performer to shine, Vanjie, and I love this image because Vanjie is somebody I understand Vanjie. I actually root for Vanjie because I understand Vanjie. Even when I think Vanjie gives a bad episode, I love that person, and that person, their branding. That's what I really resonate with. Gottmik deserves that chance too. How about you guys? Who do you want to see get to grow a little bit more, and what do you hope for them? Because we love these people, we really do.
I really would love to see Georges have the moment of being of really conquering something. And I'd really like for it to feel entirely plausible and not directed by production. That would make me very happy. Both Nina and Shannel, deserve to have a little time in the sun, of course.
Well, they have to be careful. They're old. Their skin might crack. Just ask
Vegas.
Yeah, she's got the full the moisturization down to a science.
I think Nina was ready to lip sync for Shannel's Christmas.
Okay, no. Can we take a quick detour to talk about the hate crime that Outfit was about to commit to lip sync to that song? The amount of acts of terrorism we would have had to have committed after watching. Why? Why did she lip sync to that?
The color of snow people. Dancing to Nicki Minaj, racial. It's racial green from Friends.
It's something I keep saying where I'm like, this is the serious drag you brought to this season of All Stars 9. I think you're an amazing performer. But this is why I won't apologize for the screen grab that we have of Nina's face.
Gooning.
Yeah, because this is what you keep bringing to the stage. Christmas elf and these faces.
She really said, "Oh, I'm the Christmas queen, honey." Shannel, your days are numbered.
Well, and the thing I think I love the most about it is I want to see their show. I want to go see them open, or like Katya and Trixie and be like, did you guys think you were coming to see the funny queens? Well, you're seeing the opening act first. And like play into the fact that they don't maybe always get the most respect, but they are just as funny and just as talented. They had such chemistry here. This is my new Shad. I think they had as much chemistry as Chad and Shannel did. And that's a legendary duo because Chad carried them so far.
I
Also,
think that if
what is
Shannel and
wearing?
This is the first thing I love Shannel has worn. Literally not.
What is this?
First thing I fucking love.
She brought that.
I want to give it up to Gottmik for standing in her lane and saying, you know what? I'm not changing. I know better. I'm not making a fool out of myself. I look fucking good. I could say, hey, if I win this if I have to lip sync, this is super freaky. This is fine.
If I had that butt too, would. Because like also Gottmik, that is quite the man butt. That
Girl,
is like,
it looked he looked good.
Ooh, no, that was
all good.
That butt almost needed to be censored. It looked so good. As a person who thinks about butts 7 out of every 8 thoughts, that was quite the butt. Thanks, Scott.
What do you think she was wearing, Jonah? What do you think Shannel was wearing?
Futuristic Muppet that
neon eleganza.
Neon, and she's working the corner. I truly I cannot describe it because there are no words. I don't know what I'm looking at. It makes me upset. The both of them. Could you imagine if they won the challenge and that's what we both had to watch on screen? Just super freaky by Nicki Minaj.
This whole corner, but at least Angeria's pants have her name on them, so like there's a branding thing going on.
Okay.
It felt like a rapper.
It's
Wait,
Christmas. She's got to calm down.
Christmas, Halloween. Oh,
Christmas, Halloween, Crisis. I see it.
Crisis. We did it. Christmas, Halloween, Angeria. The important holidays.
The 3 holidays.
Yeah, I will say, I very firmly believe that if Nina and Shannel decided to take over like a variety show and own a theater in like Palm Springs or Reno or something, they would be, it would be make the most money outside of like Vegas.
I think
LA,
they
New
could
York.
set up like I honestly think they could set up little drag Broadway in Hoboken. I think they have a very specific Northeast energy that has a very specific crunch to it.
I just don't think you're going to get Shannel to do winters.
Well, then
I just don't think so.
Who likes something cold? Who's funny and from Canada? Should we talk about Slaycation for 2 seconds? 3 of the queens from Canada, Jada Shada, and then also Lawrence Chaney from UK. Plus, I want to say it's Lux Noir London and Candy Muse and one other girl. They're all going to be like survivalist backpacking in the Canadian wilderness for 6 episodes on World of Wonder. And
are they in drag?
No. And when I looked at the article, I was like, I'm being aggressively punked. And it's like I felt when I read the synopsis for it Once Upon a Time before it premiered, and they were like Disney but dark and sexy, and then they were like, no, never mind, it's still Disney.
This is where I've always thought that this was going to go. That once they had their own WoW thing, I was like, yeah, we're going to move into just strict reality where drag queens happen to be the contestants, but we're going to see less drag as an art form.
It's unfortunate because I would really love to see Lux Noir London on Naked and Unafraid, but it is a little weird that such a handsome gentleman, geez. But it's a little weird that this is the further use of these people. I would love to see these people, like these performers, and I say people because whether they're performing as a person like themselves, like straight character themselves, or their drag persona, I want to see them get to do things that are fun too, like Drag Wheel of Fortune.
Drag Wheel of Fortune. I've always liked diners, drive-ins, and drag theaters.
We love.
They do have some of that on WoW. Plus, I know Pangina hosts a show where she takes a bunch of queens to go get like spicy food.
It's like
I
Hot
also-
Fudge, but for queens.
Sweat your
That's
wig off.
amazing.
I'm also 90% sure that I have now seen all the seasons I need to be able to watch Drag Me to Dinner and understand who all of the Rue girls are.
You probably
Enjoy.
do, but don't do it anyway.
Why?
Enjoy.
No,
No,
it's
okay,
got my girl.
don't listen to the curmudgeon. It's a cute,
Boo.
dumb show. It has
Yeah.
very little stakes. It's a little
Did you
hokey.
finish it?
No, you're
Yes, I
talking
did.
to
I
the
watched
wrong-
every episode.
PK's talking to the wrong girl. I do not like reality. I do not like competition. My version of competition is Great British Bake Off. My version of reality is it's
This
that
is
one
not that either,
where they
though.
send the boxes.
I was gonna
in.
say, Tori, my problem with it is actually that there may be too much reality. It doesn't know what it wants to be. Anyway, watch
It's
it.
wild.
I would love to get your thoughts. I do not begrudge anybody for enjoying it. Jonah, I didn't actually realize you enjoyed it. That makes me happy.
I mean, it was fine. I didn't say I enjoyed it. It was just.
Hold on. No. The one
Now
that
he's
everybody-
backpedaling.
I'm going to make everybody on this entire show, all 5 of this panelist crew, although 3 of us have already watched it, watch all of Secret Celebrity Drag Race because number one,
Oh, I have to do
Nesta
that too.
Williams is literally the most perfect human to ever exist. That is the love of my life. I have no patience for any other opinions. But beyond that, the second season is incredibly charming. They even have one of the worst snatch games I've ever seen. But it is one of the best roasts I've ever seen in the history of the show. It's kind of special. It's kind of different. And if we're going to just, broaden the horizons for 1 minute to talk about the incredible lineup of WoW products, it would be a shame to not give credence to a show that worked very hard to bring mainstream audiences to Drag Race in a masked singer world.
Yeah.
So,
I enjoyed it a lot. I would love to see if it's a property that could get revisited someday. That happens all the time. Who knows?
I also think it is a very deserving winner. The winner really, really deserves it based on all of their performances. It is a runaway great victory.
Very satisfying.
Anyway, let's wrap this up. Very satisfying. Tori, if the season ended right now and all of the badges got eaten by me, who would you give the win to and where can we find you?
You can find me being a big old Gottmik fan over on the Instagrams at smtori. That's Tori with an I. Gottmik has my vote for the all around. Maybe Roxxxy, but to be honest, where I think Roxxxy stands out is also where Gottmik stands out. So I don't know. Unlike with Jinx and the design challenges, I haven't really found Gottmik's weak spot yet.
It was this.
It is teamwork. Actually, Gottmik is always terrible at teamwork. Every time. She does not do well with it.
Which is an uncommon trait for queens. So it's not like she's alone.
Especially when you're at the
there.
top of your game and you're young and beautiful.
I could not agree more. Really, really, what a great call. Tori, it is such a blessing to have you on with us. You are booked and blessed as far as we are concerned. So thank you so much for everything you do. And I'd like to buck tradition and in honor of my dog, Bucky, and keep you here as we do our sign-offs. Jonah, I am a hungry food monster. I am Jenna in the season 2 premiere of 30 Rock. Me want food. I ate all the badges. So you're Rue now. Who are you giving the win and where can everybody find you?
Well, I gotta, do this. Try to get it all in frame. The winner of All Stars 9 is Gottmik. I think it's got to be Gottmik. Gottmik, I think, is the person who probably benefits the most from an All-Star season, just for the type of challenges that Gottmik, even on season 13, struggled a little bit with that branding commercial challenge. Probably should have been on the bottom with Olivia, but it's neither here nor there. That's just a matter of opinions.
Leave Olivia alone.
But outside of getting this challenge out of the way, Gottmik really doesn't have a lot of things that she's not dancing. She's not the best dancer, but she tries. Gottmik really does kind of put a lot of her effort into being the best dancer that she can be.
And she's very good at the moving arms and legs.
The moving,
in the background.
yes. She's not a great dancer, but she's a great mover.
fine.
Yes.
mover, shaker, and producer.
Word for word.
That's who my vote is right now. I think really is just got mixed to lose. But we'll see how the rest of the season shakes out, especially with those extra episodes that I now found out about that they have. And if you want to follow me places, you can at Peak Jonah.
That's
Oh.
Peak.
That is Peak, not Pique, even though you have piqued our interest. Speaking
Or
of interest,
Peek.
as we reveal and show who we are piqued by, Kevo, your badges. Who you giving the win to, and where can everybody find you?
It's early to pick, but I'm going to go with the crowd for now, at least. And now that we know we have 12 episodes, this could turn around at this point. So
we're not even halfway.
Exactly. So I'm going to go with the crowd for now. But I think we also had a lot to say in this episode that kind of put in Roxxxy's court, whether that's a misdirect or what, who knows. Shannel would be a really interesting twist after all these years.
She's so
I think
beautiful.
there's a lot of great contenders. And I just want Plastique to win. So who knows? There's still challenges to come. I'm excited for the ladies' room. I'm excited for a talent show extravaganza. It's going to be extravagoody. And in the meantime, you can find me at Kev O'Reilly. That's KEVOREALLY. Teak, who is your pick, and where can the folks find you?
But TK gets to eat his own badges.
It's Mick. Thank you. I need the protein. It's Mick for me, but because that has been universally proclaimed, I will go with my next runner-up, who would be Plastique. That just in terms of who I would want to see, not even necessarily who's doing the best. If I had to be a betting man about it, I would say Roxxxy is probably next most likely to win after Gottmik. I want Gottmik to win, and I think she's the most likely. And if it weren't her, it would, for me, I would want Plastique to win. I just, I don't know. I think it'd be funny to see the most followed queen on social media, who I think could bring a small country to its knees, also win a season of Drag Race and be in the Drag Race Hall of Fame. I think that could just lead to some funny incidents. And I am tickled by chaos. So if you want to talk to me about that, you just find me at TK Elemental. Nico, last on the list, what do you got for us?
Number one, if you want to check me out at Nico Action, NICOACTION. If you want to check out my slick tunes, like the ones that are playing in the background, that's MUSIC at the end of the NIOCIN. Yoink Coin Kong.
Check the comments.
Great spelling card. NICOACTION MUSIC. Cool. But I do just want to say, if you want to check out the not just amazing Drag Race coverage we have all over this beautiful channel at X's for Show, you should check out X's for Podcast feeds with all of these incredible people, whether we're talking about Marvel, DC, or more. A real pleasure to get to make that for you guys. But if we're talking about who I see being the top three, I would really like my top three to be Roxxxy, Nina West, and Gottmik. And Tori, cover your ears for 1 second.
Why do you get three?
Because I went last and nobody can fight me.
Because he's the owner.
I would really like to see Nina West Megami and get up into the final two like a lip-sync assassin. Thank you, Tori.
Yeah, anytime.
I just didn't want to spoil something that was really cool for you, but it's a dream for me because I think they are an incredible queen, and it would be really special to see such a cool surprise. But otherwise, you should make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe to this show all over YouTube at X's for Show. And why? Because it is excellence all over your show. Otherwise, we have three things we could really use for you guys to do for us, but they're for you. Number one, we'd like you guys to stay safe. It's a crazy world out there, and not every one of us has some sort of super awesome drag queen superhero following us around like these incredible women who give up themselves.
Yelena, I messed up your audio there. That's my fault.
Oh, no, you're good. So, one, I just want to say that we want you guys to stay safe. We love you, and we want to see you keep on. Not every one of us has an amazing drag queen superhero like these unbelievable 8 performers. So stay safe. Number two, be brave. Who you are, your art, your ideas, your mind. That is the best thing in the world. We are so excited to share that with you and the world. But number 3, we want to see you guys evolve daily. I think about how I fell in love with Roxxxy in season 5 and how I thought she was the most beautiful man I had literally ever seen on television. And I still do. Season 5 Roxxxy is the most handsome man I have ever seen on television in my life. And I think about the unbelievable queen she's become. She evolved daily. She really did. She took this time and she spent it becoming the best version of herself. And is that version still messy? Yeah, me too. But be Roxxxy, evolve daily. And if you guys can do that,